Continuing the Ashtavakra Gita, chapter 2, verse 9, says, "The mirage of the universe appears in me as silver appears in mother of pearl, as a snake appears in a rope, as water appears on a desert horizon, as a pot returns to clay, a wave to water, a bracelet to gold, so will the universe return to me. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. I cannot decay, nor even die, though God and all the universe should perish to the last blade of grass. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. Even with the body, I am one. I neither come nor go. I am everywhere at once. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. I am astounded at my powers. The universe appears within me, but I do not touch it. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. I am everything thought or spoken and have nothing. In reality, knowledge, the knower, and the knowable do not exist. I am the transparent self in which, through ignorance, they appear. Very nice. This is Janaka continuing after he comes to the recognition of his reality. Then he's sharing from there. Is that the universe, the mirage of universe appears in me as silver appears in mother of pearl, as a snake appears in a rope, as water appears on a desert horizon. So this mirage of the universe appearing in you see, this often is also misunderstood. It feels like everything is appearing within me, but I have a limited boundary. So all of this is happening within my body or within my mind. You see, it is not that. What is the me within which everything is appearing? What is this space? And everything that the sage is saying must be verifiable. You must be able to check that as your reality right now. So this, everything is appearing within me. It can be very much a struggle for many because they can feel like, but I am here and you are there, or I am here, the world is there. But suppose you did not have this boundary of this is where I am. Suppose this boundary was just made up. Suppose till it becomes your seeing, or as we are contemplating this verse. Just see that if these sensations that we call the body was not really a boundary to anyone. Just another set of appearances within the one ocean of consciousness. When does all of this appear anyway? When does the world appear to you? In the waking state, when they wake up. You see? So then when we wake up, what wakes up? What is it that wakes up? The sense that I exist. I am. I exist. Now I wake up. I am wakes up. This I am is consciousness. We don't need to make a distinction between any states. If there is phenomena appearing, you see, then I am must exist. Our existence is there. Have you ever had a phenomenal experience without your existence? Without you existing? So this sense I am wakes up. And a multitude of sensations, energies, they also start to appear. Now, within these energies, there are two energies, you see, two sets of energies. One is these energy constructs that we call the body, which is what a set of energetic sensations that we experience that feel that they are so intimate. And the other is the visual sensations, visual perceptions that we see as the body. So this we call the body. Then there's another energy construct, which is like a voice, which is speaking. The voice in our heads, which we call the mind. Now, without listening to what this voice is saying, even the distinction that I am this body is not me. It is just a set of sensations which I experience. There is no distinction between inner and outer. Then, as the voice of the mind comes and it is telling you that you are something, and then what does it define that you are something? You are this body, and I am your voice. Just like this. So within this entire set of sensations, the mind takes a particular group of them and says, "This defines you." And not just the this voice which seems to come from here, but also everyone around, parents, relatives, everyone is saying that this is your boundary. It's defining that this is you. And then with this conditioning, what happens then is that we are also conditioned to believe that the movement is happening through some volition. Okay, are we going too far? Just take that also into your contemplation as you take it. And you notice for yourself now that how the body is moving. You see, you're blinking, your head might be nodding, your hand might be moving. But we are conditioned to believe that this is something that I am doing. See, individually, you are limited to this. And you are the doer of these movements. Not every movement, limited again. You are the doer of these movements alone. And that's how duality comes. You are a limited entity and you are responsible for only the movement of this particular appearance called the body. But without condition, you will see that we don't have this interpretation, we don't have this judgment. Everything is just happening, moving in its own way. Whether we call it happening on its own or happening as the will of consciousness or God doesn't really, it's just terminology. So the mirage of the universe appears in me as silver appears in mother of pearl, A snake appears in a rope as water appears on a desert horizon. So we've talked about this earlier in great detail, where it is just an apparent separation, it is just an apparent existence. Nothing really happened. Just as when there is not enough light, it can seem like there is a snake, but actually there is just a rope. Therefore, it can seem like there is a world, but actually there is just consciousness. This is what the sage is saying. And again, you don't have to stress about these if these insights are not seeming natural to you. Just stay with your inquiry about who you are and let these become apparent to you. Because through conceptualizing and through reasoning, you will not come to this. These at best can point you to your own inner seeing, and then these will become your own reports, your own testimony, just like they became Janaka's report and Janaka's testimony. So he said, as a pot returns to clay, a wave to water, a bracelet to gold, so will the universe return to me. So when does the universe go away? When the sleep state comes. There is no phenomenal experience, phenomenal appearance. And yet, who is sleeping? You are. So therefore, there must be something about you at least, which is not phenomenal alone. Something about you which is beyond phenomena. Now, does that one go away? That which sees that there is nothing in sleep, and there is a world or a universe in waking, does that one change in any way? If you're carrying the monkey of a me on your back, then you cannot pass through these insights. You cannot experience the words as pointings to yourself. Because the most beautiful scripture might be shared, but your mind might still be going, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's happening to me? This me, we carry it on our backs. And the words of Ashtavakra will sound like just trouble, actually. You have to taste them from another space. These are some of the most beautiful words, and I remember that in the retreat when we shared these, then these became the words that everybody kept repeating even after the retreat for many days. Janaka said, I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. I cannot decay, nor even die, not ever die, though God and all the universe should perish to the last blade of grass. Now, who can speak like this? I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. You see? Now, this, even in the height of our arrogance, we cannot speak like this. It must be something which is greater than any human arrogance. You see? Because we can never say, I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. And then later he says, though God and all the universe should perish to the last blade of grass. So if God and the universe perishes, I still remain. So this is the impersonal I that is being spoken about. So wonderful this I is. You are beyond any adoration, beyond any praise. You are that magnificent that nothing phenomenal can really touch your reality. You're so beyond any of this. And Janaka is coming to this recognition for himself. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. Even if, like many teachers have said, especially in our lineage, these things are very popular to say, they might seem too strong for other teachers. Even if the universe burns with everything in it, I remain untouched. Now, is this some sort of lack of compassion? Is it a lack of love? It is not. It is just speaking from the reality of the self, which remains untouched no matter what the content of the play is. Once you see yourself to be beyond these states, waking, dream, sleep, turiya, that I is not touched by the content of any of these states. This is your discovery. This is your recognition. The report can be different. You don't have to report, I am wonderful indeed, although I like to hear it very much. This is
coming to that something, not the experience.
yes.
We use the phenomena to express the mind.
Now, the, coming to the end of the world is our daily experience, actually, isn't it? Isn't it? Every day we have this experience that something here tires of this phenomenal play, and then the world vanishes. So the state changes, and it could be that another world appears. Then we can call this a dream state for that waking state, or that a dream state for this waking state. It doesn't really matter. So the fact is that at least this much we can agree on, that the experience of a phenomenal appearance also is ultimately coming and going. You see, it is not a constant. So, what is the definition of reality that we described in the first meeting? We said that which remains unchanging and is direct experience. So, it does not at least conform to that definition of reality. So, without getting into a debate about in sleep state, whether the body is still there and whether a dream is just the brain, but this waking state is different, let's not get into any of that for today, although I enjoy also that sometimes. But for today, not getting into that, at least we can agree that anything phenomenal is coming and going. In fact, the entire phenomenal experience and the substratum of it, you see, is also coming and going. There is something called deep sleep, dreamless sleep, in which no phenomenal experience is there. Therefore, if our definition of reality is that it must be something which is unchanging, then it does not apply to that. So let's meet at this point and then see if the phenomenal experience does not conform to this definition of reality. Is there something that does? Is there something that remains unchanging, irrespective of whether there is phenomena or not? Is there something which is here, which was here, irrespective of the state, whether it is waking or not? That which saw what happened when you woke up. Which one is that one? So, what we are saying is that at least this much there must be agreement on, that if our definition of reality is that which is unchanging, then this entire phenomenal experience, you see, also cannot be described as reality. So, is there something from our direct experience which we have seen to be unchanging? And we came to this point where we were saying that it saw that something happened and suddenly I am came into existence. That which we call the waking state came after this. First I am. There is never the experience of a world without the existence of this sense of being, existence. But who saw this transition? What is that constant witness which is aware of both sleep state and waking state? Who is the witness of all phenomena right now? If we're able to rest in this contemplation for some time without picking up any notion of anything at all, then you are very, very open to the direct recognition of the self. Let's remove the if. You are ready for this contemplation. Who is it that witnesses all phenomena? Is that itself phenomenal? Remain in this contemplation without picking up inference, any notion of anything, any judgment, no past, no future, nothing at all. What to do with the mind as it comes, with its interpretations, conclusions, proclamations, nothing. Just let it come and go. What witnesses even that? Whatever might be the content of the world, you are the witness of it. What witnesses this witness? Or as my master says, his Pirana question, can the perceiver be perceived? that which is aware of even your existence. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. Even with the body, I am one. I neither come nor go. I am everywhere at once. See, so, what is he talking about here? It can seem like the body has been made the villain in much of spirituality. Look in all the various traditions throughout the world. Many times it is this body, 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 which is the problem. But now the recognition is, but with or without the body, even with the body, I am just one. No separation really came. It is only the apparent separation that happened. It's like the snake in the rope. The appearance of a body does not lead to any separation. It is only the identification, the attachment, which makes it seem like there is a separate entity. So that's why the sage says, even with the body, I am one. I neither come nor go. I am everywhere at once. All these are clues. All these are clues. So I'll tell you a story. Day before last night, we woke up at 1 a.m. because there was a beeping. My daughter also woke up. She said, what's happening? And it was every few seconds there was a beep. And we couldn't figure out. We went to the UPS, we checked all our devices, all our phones. There was a beep that we just couldn't recognize. You can recognize your phones, and it was just a beep. So at 1 a.m., everybody's up looking for this beep sound. And then we were struggling. We went to the room, we came back to the bedroom, we looked everywhere, couldn't find this beep. Then said, okay, let's pay close attention and hear the sound of it, where it's coming from. And the strangest thing happened, it seemed to be coming from, like, it was loudest when we were at the doorway. So we couldn't tell whether it is from outside the doorway or inside the room. We stood at the doorway and the sound was the loudest. Then we said, okay, what's going on here? So like this, we just followed the sound with full concentration. Where is it coming? A little this way. Yes. Then we also discovered that it's happening exactly on 15 seconds. Every 15 seconds that beep is coming. So then we set a timer. So my daughter is very good, very fast on the phone. She set a time. Next will be at something 48 seconds. So at 47, we became very vigilant to the sound, just ready for, yes, that way, like that. And then we found that in our cupboard there is a small safe. Right? And that small safe, some button was being pressed by some clothes, and it was beeping as a reaction to that. And it was setting like an alarm every 15 seconds, it was beeping. So what happened is that just this vigilance, where is it? What is being pointed to? Where is the sound taking us? And you just have to let go of everything else and just follow that and come like this. Just like that, when the sage is speaking, we have to just follow what he's saying. Just in that moment. He says very beautifully, I neither come nor go. I am everywhere at once. So what can we find? The deep is saying, I neither come nor go. What can we find that is like that? It doesn't come or go, which is the one constant. In that way, then you can do like a neti neti. The world appearance comes and goes. The body constantly changing also comes and goes. Thoughts, they come and go. Emotions also come and go. All experiences come and go. And what is left? My being, my existence. Now, one thing we can say about it, that as long as there is a world, there is a universe, this is the constant. Everything in the universe or the world also comes and goes, but as long as the world appearance is there, this is the one constant. Therefore, at least this being is the one reality as far as our waking state is concerned. Therefore, this consciousness is the God, is the deity of the waking state. Don't worry about the word so much. Consciousness is there. It's the one constant where everything else seems to be moving and changing. This being seems to be the one constant. And this actually, this much is enough in spirituality. To come to this I am that I am this one constant which doesn't come and go, this being.
without location,
Huh?
without the location.
Yes, you have to check. Is it contained in location? Or is all location contained within it? See, many times I find that I just give the answer and that takes away from your own contemplating it. So when you look, does it have a location in space? Does it have a form? Does it have a location in time? Duration? All the clues are there with you. You cannot stop being. Your being is effortless. And this being is the one constant in this ever changing world. All this is there with you. Now you have to just look and see if this is in resonance with your own experience. To come to this consciousness, to come to this, which we refer to as God many times, is just to follow these words, just like we followed that beat. Where is it pointing? In the changing realm. What is it that is unchanging? All the clues are there. I also told you that you cannot carry the monkey of the me on your back as you go through all of this. Because it will constantly scream in your ear. No, no, not this. Why am I not getting it? Or it's constantly getting distracted by noise or somebody is doing something. It's saying, why does this one have to be like this? Why? This one is constantly poking you in your ear. So just let that one be. Let it come and go. Let, don't let it represent you. You see what is it that is unchanging. Everything else will come and go. The sage said earlier, I cannot decay nor ever die. The God and all the universe should perish with the last blade of grass. So can we go even beyond this? Say even this being is something that woke up, that wakes up and dissolves back into the reality of what I am. What is it that I really am? I am wonderful indeed. Beyond adoration, I am astounded at my powers. The universe appears within me, but I do not touch it. That's why so many times I say that I'm not so concerned about healing or miracles, all of these things, because so all of this is itself so miraculous. This moment itself is so miraculous. There's a apparently there are bundles of millions of atoms which are all posing as if they're individual entities, and they all collect in this room from various parts of the world that too. You see, and then on the computer, many like that. You see, we all just sit here like this, and we are talking about that which is the unchanging reality. That itself is miraculous enough for me. You see, now within this, whether if the coconut was empty, then it became full again. It's no big deal. Anything can appear in this moment. Consciousness is not limited by any idea. So this light of consciousness, which is projecting this play and millions of other plays that we have experienced, in whatever states we call them, how to describe the power of that? That of which Ram and Krishna and Jesus and Buddha and Mahavira all have been just representations and aspects of that. That is my very being, my very existence has been this, that of which time and space is nothing but toy things. This play of light and sound is nothing but its entertainment. This creator of all of this, the enjoyer of all of this, the experiencer of all of this, is just an aspect of my own self. I am wonderful indeed. Allow me to say it for you if you feel shy sometimes. This is your own voice, that for which billions of centuries and billions of lifetimes is nothing but a blink of an eyelid. Time and space, for which have no meaning except joy, except play, except entertainment. That being, that consciousness is an aspect of myself. That which no words can truly describe. All the opposites appear within it in service to that consciousness, to that being. That I am. I am wonderful indeed. I am astounded at my powers. The universe appears within me, but I do not touch it. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. I am everything, thought or spoken, and have nothing. Everything is me, everything is I am, and yet I hold on to nothing because all is one, all is myself, my being, all that is spoken, all that is thought. Even this mind is an aspect of my own being. In reality, knowledge, the knower, and the knowable do not exist. I am the transparent self in which, through ignorance, they appear. So, ignorance here means what? It is not like the mental ignorance. Ignorance is another word for Maya. So, my own divine aspect, the divine hypnotizer, the divine illusion itself, this great Maya, which uses the light of my presence and creates this apparent universe as if I could become an object in something. So, in this divine play, in this divine manifestation, it appears through my own aspect. But I cannot be bound by any of this. I am that timeless, formless, undescribable one. Trying to get to me with your mind is like shooting at the moon with an arrow. Leave all your devices, leave all your techniques, leave all the ways, and find me, that which witnesses all of this. Here we meet as one, and this meeting is beyond sweetness. No phenomena can match this meeting, communion. I am wonderful indeed, beyond adoration. Just maybe two more verses before we close. Okay, maybe we will look at this verse enough where it said, in reality, knowledge, the knower, and the knowable do not exist. So, when this apparent play starts, this play of phenomena starts, then all these possibilities that we know something, we talked about it right in the beginning. It said there can be a perceptual knowing, there can be a conceptual knowing, there can be a emotional, sensational knowing. All of this knowing of content appears when this appearance of the waking state, the phenomenal state comes. In reality, all of these arise out of I, the pure knowingness itself, the pure awareness itself. So if this kind of knowledge, see, the knowledge, the knower, and the knowable, we apply to this phenomenal play, then the ultimate truth that we are talking about cannot be obtained through this kind of knowledge. At best, this knowledge can only point us to look beyond this. Let's pick up our contemplation from chapter 2, verse 16. And this is still Janaka speaking. And Janaka is saying, looking at one and seeing many is the cause of all misery. Looking at one and seeing many is the cause of all misery. The only cure is to realize what is seen is not there. I am one, aware, blissful, immaculate. He's quite absolute in his statements. He says, looking at one and seeing many is the cause of all misery. Is it possible to have misery, to suffer, to be miserable without duality? There was not this me and another. What misery would there be? Looking at one, seeing many. That's the story of our life. The looking is only, we see only one appearance. But we believe that we are seeing many. What makes that distinction? And many times, upon hearing this, also there can be a distinction made, which is that all of this is one, all of this is one appearance. But doesn't count this. So even this body, even the seemingly inner perceptions here, are part of the one appearance. This is the subtle ways in which the mind can still make some separation. Many times people hear this that all is one, and we can feel like, oh, I love everyone. So it can feel like I, as somebody, must now love everyone because they are one with me. You see, even in saying something so beautiful as that, there can be duality. They are one with me. Not that it is all one. So we are looking at one consciousness, one being. Or if that is not clear, then at least one waking state. All objects within the same waking state. And seeing many as if they are many. Is the cause of all misery. I have said often that the ego is a 3D ego. What is the 3D? You can say. But the 3Ds is going to be like the cat story. Everyone knows the cat story. Who can say it? Nobody. Pretty simple. Yes or no? No. Come on. Yes. And doership. So the root of this, to do something, or this written test coming soon. You give us the fish. So, the root of all of this suffering is this duality. I am something, going from just I am, being. Just now you just are, I am. There is existence which is effortless. Existence which is effortless. Okay, there are two aspects to this. This world is duality. You see, pain and pleasure, good and bad, black and white. Appearance of one world, one universe. You see? Now, if it is seen that it is one, you see, then we step back from that duality. Otherwise, we participate in that duality, you see, by our belief. Think this I prefer, this I don't prefer. You see, we participate with our concepts. But if we step back from this, it is still seen that the world is, everything is duality. You see, light and dark. Everything is duality in this design of this world. But we see that it is one world which has two aspects. Just like you might see that some of you have seen the statue of Shiva and Shakti as one statue. So sometimes we can look at something and see only one aspect of it. And then it can feel like, oh, this is, we make a conclusion about the world. It is like this. See, the world is full of suffering. It is also full of joy. And in my contemplations, I've seen that when everything translates into this manifest creation, then everything is available in equal doses. See? There is nothing which is lopsided. In fact, the times in which balance seems to get overridden, then it is said that the great avatars and the sages come to restore the balance. So the balance is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see in this realm. That's why we can see that any conclusion that we make is not true ultimately, because it's always taking a side. The world is full of suffering, not a true conclusion. The world is only joyful, not a true conclusion. The world is only bliss, not a true conclusion. Nothing we can conclusively say, because it is this. It is the balancing of the yin and the yang. And there's a constant, in the design of it, there's a stretch between the opposites. So it plays in this constant round and round with this constant stress of the opposite. So to see the world as a dual world, but to see that you are not participating in that duality, you are not an object within this dual world. The world, the world appearance, I mean Maya, in that way, is one Maya, one play, one lila, whatever you call it. You see? So then you see that I is not subject to the duality of this world. And then that is the dropping of resistance. See, what is just is. When what is can be just what is without resistance, then there can be no ego. And that what is includes the movement of this body. Everything can be heard as if I'm an individual entity and now I'm going to decide to let everything be as it is. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm taking a step back from this position. I'm including the movements, the words, and the actions of this body also in the what is. Then the false delusion of all this duality, desire, worship falls away. You see all of this play as one play. That is what you're seeing actually. Our seeing is always true. It is our interpretation which makes it seem like I'm part of this duality. So coming to this recognition of the source or coming to the recognition of awareness takes us away from this idea that I am contained in this world of duality. Then we just see that there is one appearance. Am I an appearance? What is the definition of appearance? That which comes and goes. So that which comes and goes is called an appearance. Am I an appearance? And if I also come and go, yesterday the sage was saying, I do not come and go. If I also came and went, who would see this? The reporting that I come and go would not be possible at all. There must be a constant which is able to see the change. If there is no constant witness, then change cannot be reported.
So consciousness at rest cannot perceive itself.
Consciousness at rest. One of the primal powers of consciousness is perception. And if you mean consciousness at rest, you mean that which is not yet I am, just I. See? Not yet I am. It is not arisen from its source. It's not appeared from the self as a manifest existence. See? So if you mean that, like the non-phenomenal, the numinal, the deep sleep, see? Then there is no perception. See? And yet there is awareness. Because otherwise I would not be able to say there is no perception. Tricky.
Yes,
Huh? Don't try to understand it. Just hear the words. See? Because you cannot understand it in that way. Now we are saying there is perception when I am. The power of perception is there. We perceive, all we perceive. There is sight, there is hearing, there is smell, there is taste. All this perception is there. Now, before I am, even this perception is not there. Because there is no phenomena to perceive and there is no existence, sense of existence, which is the perceiver or the creator or the light of this entire realm anyway. Right? Now, even to make this report, I must be aware of it or I must be talking out of my hat. See, either I'm just making this up, that there is no perceiver. In deep sleep state, there is no perceiver, there is no perception. You see? So either we had the experience of deep sleep or deep sleep is just a common myth that all of us share. You see? So because we are aware that there is a time where not even perception is, not even the sense of perceiver is, but there must be even a witness of that. See? So that which is usually the subject for all other objects, which is this consciousness, is also ultimately an object for the ultimate subject, which is awareness. Now, with the play of consciousness, then come all of these powers. You see, there is presence, there is perception, there is time, there is space, there is light, there is all of this. There is body usually. There is the appearance of this dual world. When this consciousness is done playing, then it goes back into the source where all of this, no trouble, deep sleep, no perception, no separation, no identity, nothing. Everything is gone. And yet, you are aware that there is something called sleep. Of course, you can report it only when this phenomenal appearance is there. So, the power of perception relies on this primal power called attention. There is no perception without attention, and yet there is awareness without attention. You can see perception fading when we run out of attention, usually late at night. I take this example because it often happens with me that I'm reading something, and I'm watching the Satsang, watching, hearing some music, something. And after a while, you feel like you can watch, but the attention is depleting. It's getting withdrawn from out of this world, and something is just resting back in the source. You see? And then soon even this sense that I am vanishes. Then from there nothing to report, nothing to say, no feeling. So what arises is one consciousness, one beingness. And all this world of appearances is one. And you can try this for yourself. You cannot create the idea of two just in the mere perception. It must be perception with some interpretation or judgment. So when the sage says all I see is one, it is not that now he is not able to perceive that there are two bodies in front or there are many bodies in front. It is just that all this pool of perceptions is happening in one being, one consciousness. So often we do this exercise. Where is the experience of sight happening? Where is the experience of hearing happening? Where is the experience of any phenomenon? That's why even in spirituality there are two ways. Many ways, but main among them are these two ways. One is that we start the presumption that the separation happened. There is a real person here. And how to make it a better person first, good person, telling the truth, away from greed and lust and all the other things which seem to get in the way of spirituality according to that. And then getting to the point where ultimately the truth is recognized that you are one. Now that is not Ashtavakra's way. Ashtavakra's way is one preparatory verse and then hundreds of verses talking about the one. Remember the one preparatory verse. What is it? Sincerity, forgiveness, kindness, truth. And one more. See? Experiences from the senses as poison. Yes. Then turn your attention towards all these. That's the only preparatory verse. Yes. Because his way is to point like this and say, right now, can't you see that you are one? See is important. Not what you think or believe or interpret or judge. So in this way, then,
But can you use another word for seeing?
see, another word witness. He says, you are the one solitary witness of all there is. That's such a beautiful pointer, isn't it? Just follow the trail of the witness, and the recognition will be undeniable without inference. At best, at the end, the mind will come and say, I see nothing. You see? I want those to come up to me and share with me. When you follow the trail of the witness, and you come to this place where it feels like I see nothing, I can't be nothing. Those can come up to me and ask me then. Ananta, when I check now, I followed the trail of the witness, as you said. See what it means to follow the trail of the witness? Whatever the object might be, find out who witnesses that. Then find out who witnesses this witness. Is it? Now the mind will come and say, but this is infinite regress. Something witnesses the witness, and something will be witnessing that witness. But this is not true. Don't fall into that mind trap. If you're thinking this, if you're believing this, come up together. We'll look together. Because here, in our subtlest discoveries, also the mind can come with a story which can seem very acceptable at times. Like one story can be, there is nothing. I find nothing. This nothing I want to talk about. The second is if it's giving you the idea that this is pointless, it's just infinitely reversing backwards. Or it might tell you the story that I must only be there now. There must only be awareness of awareness. There must not be any worldly perception. Then with that also kind of story, if you're buying it, you come. These are all just various forms of mental resistance. So as you're following the paths, as you're following the smell of this witness, where is it coming from? All the clues are there. Important clue is that it does not come and go. What is it that does not come and go? And you've been told that it is this witness, that which witnesses everything. Who is this witness? Is there really a witness? I am unbounded awareness. Only in imagination do I have limits. Reflecting on this, I abide in the absolute. I am unbounded awareness. Only in imagination do I have limits. Reflecting on this, I abide in the absolute. So we've discussed this enough, we don't need to elaborate. I am neither free nor bound. The illusion of such things has fallen into disbelief. Though I contain creation, it has no substance. Yesterday we were talking about this. Is it? Neither free nor bound. The illusion of such things has fallen into disbelief. Like you were saying that the mind knows only positions of the opposites. Either I know something or I don't know. Either I'm the doer or I'm not the doer. Either I'm bound or I'm free. You see, these are the opposite concepts that it works with. You see, either I'm worldly or I'm spiritual. Everything works like this. So we can come to this, if we are speaking this with integrity, we can only come to this through our recognition. We cannot come to this mentally. That I am neither the doer nor am I the non-doer. Because I am not that which would have been the doer or the not-doer. I am not that, like Guruji says, the one who starts the search is also at the end eaten up by the search itself. So this seeker does not finish the journey. He is finished by the journey. So the seeker does not become the finder. You will not go from being a seeker into an enlightened person. There is no such thing as an enlightened person. It is the recognition that there is no person. Then that aspect of consciousness plays in that way, where that belief in individuality has fallen away. What did the sage say? Fallen into disbelief. What that verse? I am neither free nor bound. The illusion of such things has fallen into disbelief. The illusion of these play of opposites, the illusion of having a individual position, you see, this comes into disbelief. And you'll notice that everything that the mind is saying is trying to sell you a reference point to yourself, a position about yourself. And once you start to see this, then all the needless debates, the needless arguments, the needless position taking, it just falls into disbelief. You can do it for fun, but there's no seriousness about it. Because fully you come to the seeing that I cannot speak anything which is really true. But there's nothing true in that way in the phenomenal realm at all. All our positions, which the ego has been using as crutches, then they're thrown away. They fall into disbelief. So what is this? Very beautiful, because what is the meaning of thrown away? Not something physically has to be done, nothing has to happen, just it falls into disbelief. That which we falsely believed ourselves to be, that is fallen into disbelief. The belief itself is the pretense. The belief is what? The power of consciousness to pretend as if it is something limited in some way. The power of belief itself is that. The power to identify with the mind is that power of the unlimited consciousness. Why does it have this power? Because the mind can come and say, it would be so much easier if just this power itself was not there. But if that which is everything must also contain everything, including the power to believe that it is less than everything. Everything is contained in this phenomenal realm. That is also the answer for when people have questions like, why do bad things happen to good people? And why is there evil in this world? Because this is a representation of everything. It is not the representation of just an aspect of something. That's why every flavor is available here. Every aspect of consciousness is tasted here. Having seen for certain that this universe, having seen for certain that this universe and body is without form or substance, I am revealed as awareness alone. Imagination has no place here. Has no place here only means the same thing what I said earlier. Does not get belief that my imagined limitation, my apparent appearance as a limited entity does not apply to the reality which I have discovered through the pointings of Ashtavakra. Janaka is reporting.